All right, stage is set. The next time we get these rankings, they'll be for the real deal. It'll be Selection Sunday. But nonetheless, college football rankings just dropped. Let's get into it. At number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs. No surprises here. They've taken care of business. They're undefeated. They are the top dog. No pun intended. Number 1, they got LSU in the SEC title game. Now, here's my feel on this. Even if they lose to LSU, probably still in. I don't think that's novel analysis. Will they still be 1 if they lose to LSU? A whole other conversation we could have. But regardless, they're number 1. They should be number 1. I expect them to stay number 1 when the Selection Sunday rankings come out. But nonetheless, Georgia Bulldogs still atop the rankings. At number 2, how about the Michigan Wolverines? We were there in Columbus. We saw what they did to Ohio State. It wasn't pretty. This Michigan team is playing their best football in November. Programs win in November. Not programs. Programs win in November, and Michigan has got themselves a program. They've got some edge. J.J. McCarthy, he's cooking with the gas. Took the training wheels off him and threw him way out in the river. He was balling, okay? If that pass game continues to trend upward, imagine if they get Blake Corum back here in the not-too-distant future. I'm just saying, Michigan, a team I would not want to play when it comes to the college football playoff. Now, they have Purdue this coming Saturday in the Big Ten title game. Fully expect them to win that game, but Michigan, number 2, if they win against Purdue, you would expect them to obviously stay number 2. Back-to-back Big Ten championships. That'd be huge, but they're second in this week's college football playoff rankings. At number 3, the TCU Horned Frogs just continue to take care of business. They absolutely throttled Iowa State this past weekend. They get Kansas State in the Big 12 title game. Now, the conversation around TCU has changed as the season has worn on. It used to be, hey, TCU, they got to be undefeated to get in. Well, now, sitting there as one of the only undefeated teams in the country, I'm tempted to say, even if they lose to Kansas State, depending how that margin of defeat looks, I think TCU might be in either way. Now, if they're at a 3 seed or a 4 seed or whatever it ends up being, that's going to be something to watch this coming Saturday. But regardless, TCU just kind of doing whatever they want to do as an undefeated team, sitting at number 3 in the college football playoff rankings this week. Now at number 4, no surprise here, USC put on a clinic against Notre Dame, passing out a T-shirt and a juice box afterwards in the Coliseum to the Fighting Irish, because that was the kind of performance we saw from Caleb Williams. I fully expect if they beat Utah in the Pac-12 title game, which will be a rematch, he will win the Heisman Trophy. They will be in the college football playoff. It's a beautiful spot to be in. Win, and you're in for USC. So like I said, a rematch against Utah, but for USC, everything is teed up in year 1 under Lincoln Riley to get to the dance. They are 4th in this week's rankings. Now, at number 5, you got the Ohio State Buckeyes just kind of hanging around. They've gotten some help from South Carolina, beating a couple Orange teams. It was a one-sided loss, all right? Let's just be honest with ourselves. It was a one-sided loss at home against a really good Michigan team. They're not playing this week, obviously. So if you're Ohio State, you are putting the rally cap on and you are rooting as hard as you possibly can for Utah and Kyle Whittingham to be able to beat USC, knock them out of the conversation. I think you're the first team up after that. But they're number 5 this week, so the conference title games are going to happen without them. But the committee obviously thinks that Ohio State is still a very good team, number 5 in this week's rankings. At number 6, Alabama Crimson Tide. How about Nick Saban and company just finding a way to stay relevant now? I think it would take a lot of chaos for them to get in the dance. So we're not going to unpack too much what would have to happen for them to be able to make the college football playoff. But I'll just say this. They have 2 losses, both on the road, in really difficult places to play by a combined 4 points on the last play of the game. So think of that what you want to. Alabama at number 6. Just Nick Saban doing what Nick Saban does. So Alabama, number 6 in this week's rankings, but keep an eye on them if chaos were to ensue. This has been The Hard Count. I'm J.D. Piquel. Jack Terry Lifting Heavy, featuring Nick Brake, Lifting Heavy, getting the deal done to bring to you the people's content for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JDPakel. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.